Confidence at opposite ends when it comes to Punjab and Mumbai, but they are in action at Indore in the IPL next up. So we are going to focus on that game, build it up on ESPNcricinfo Matchday 320 only with Brad Hogg, who's right here. Brad, it's only you and me today.
Yeah, I'm missing Ajit, but it's quite cozier in here just with you.
We're going to hold hands in a little while from now. Let's leave that out. But Punjab and Mumbai, has it been romantic for them this season? Certainly for Mumbai. But we will start our match day match point number 1 as we build up to that game with Punjab and the uncertainty surrounding their number 3s. They've tried Ridhiman Saha, they've tried Akshar Patel, they've tried Marcus Stoinis. Let's just see all the options that they've put out, but nobody's given them the returns. Glenn Maxwell himself came at the right number. He always looks good, even if it is for 10 runs, but you need more from your number 3. Mumbai, in fact, have shown that with how Nitish Rana has gone about in recent games for them. Hoggy, there is a man in the reserves who could do a job for them. You need to tell me how Punjab can fix this number 3 spot. 45 seconds to you.
Well, they do need to make changes. Shaun Marsh has to come in. I'd prefer Shaun to bat as an opener. He's probably got a better record as an opener, but the way Amla and Vora are playing at the moment, if Shaun Marsh comes in at number 3, it will allow the 2 openers to play with a little bit more freedom, knowing that Shaun can stabilise that innings out number 3. Now, if the 2 openers, Amla and Vora, get past the 6 over mark, probably to the 8 over mark, and get Kings 11 off to a great start, that's where you can start floating the batting order around and probably bring Glenn Maxwell in around about the 8th over. So you've just got to make it a little flexible.
Well, we've got some time, so why don't we show you Shaun Marsh's numbers. Now, this is a man that we hadn't heard too much about before the first IPL, and boom, he took the orange cap, and that was that. He remains one of the most successful batsmen in IPL history. Average of 42, strike rate of 130, opening, and strike rate of 130, similar strike rate, similar average, even at number 3. So he's as good, versatile, can do either job. Are you not in touch with your friends in the country? Can you not ask him if he's fit and fine? What's he up to?
He's fit. He's definitely fit. He hasn't had an injury cloud over him. He went home for a couple of days to visit his family and then came back, so he's available for the first game. So I don't know why they haven't selected him, but for me, he's probably the best batsman in IPL that you can have, because you know that he can bat the whole innings, and when he gets to the end of the innings, he can really take any attack apart. So he's good enough to clear the boundary, but in those power play overs, he's good enough to pierce the field, take his time, rotate the strike. And as we've seen there, it's a very consistent strike rate, whether he's batting opening batter or he's batting out 3. And he averages over 40. I think he's got the 4th best average in IPL cricket.
All you need to know about Shaun Marsh, and you've heard it here, that he's also fit and fine to play. So let's see if Glenn Maxwell ends up putting him in his 11 against Mumbai. Time to move to match day match point number 2 now, and we are going to talk about the key battle between Lasith Malinga and David Miller. Now, you know, I don't even know if everyone would play David Miller the form that he's got, but maybe this is one more reason why you wouldn't, because when he comes up against Lasith Malinga, his numbers are nothing to be proud of. Show you the head-to-head in the history of the tournament. Hoggy, it's not good reading for a man who has a lot more ability than that, but 3 times that Malinga's got David Miller out, as good as he is, and he's not even got double-digit in the runs column. Something's gone off with David Miller. You need to tell me in 45 seconds what it is.
I don't know what's gone off with David Miller. He didn't perform well in the IPL last year. I think he averaged around about 18 or maybe 20 if I'm generous. A quality batsman, star batsman, done wonderful things since he's come on the scene, but the last 2 years, especially in IPL cricket, hasn't been the best of David Miller. So I think they're going to have to make a change. They're going to have to remove Miller and bring in Marsh, and even the Malinga stats, you don't even have to worry about the stats. Whether it's spin, whether it's pace, David Miller just seems out of sorts at the moment.
Yeah, well, David Miller needs to try and find the answer, or else it has to come in some way or the other from the Kings 11, but he's not good against Malinga. Time to take on match day match point number 3 now, and as far as Mumbai's internationals go, there's no complaint from the big man in Kieron Pollard. He's been playing responsibly, he's been playing sensibly. It's not something we associate with Pollard in every season, but just to give you an idea of the key contributions that he's made in chases, and in from very difficult situations. Against Bangalore, we remember how that game was when Badri ran through the top order. Hoggy 93 put on a partnership with Krunal Pandya, and then against Gujarat also runs from him that meant a crucial partnership to make it 3 wins in a row at home. Question is that so many of the other major firepower hitters of like some McCullum, Maxwell, so much is expected out of them, and then they play a rash shot. Somehow Kieron Pollard's gone the other direction. What's changed about him this season?
Well, he's certainly changed it a little bit. The other aspect of Kieron Pollard, not just his bowling, but his fielding. He's saved a number of boundaries out deep, and he's really putting in the field. So I think there's a slight change of attitude with Kieron Pollard. He's taken responsibility. He's becoming a leader down there at Mumbai, and he's bringing along the Pandya brothers as well. Those partnerships that he's had there, he's mentoring those younger players and showing them how to take the game deep. And that game against RCB, where they were in dire straits, that just showed me that he's switched on, he's matured, he's changed his game, but he's getting a lot of balls. He's coming in around about the 12th, 13th over. He's getting a number of balls to set himself up, and then when he gets settled, he attacks the bowlers. He sums up the bowlers that he wants to attack, sums up the bowlers that he's got to be a little defensive with. So he's a lot smarter than what we're used to. Yeah,
and that was on a difficult batting pitch, remember? So Kieron Pollard doing all the right things, and couldn't be a better time for him to do it. Big auction coming up next year, and of course he's secured his position. There's some good players in the reserves for Mumbai too that would be vying for that spot.
That's now, probably what's motivating too.
You don't say, Hoggy. Let's discuss Punjab's bowling now in our next match day match point, because no matter what we do about their batting, Hoggy, the general consensus is they do not have the bowlers that can actually win them games. I know you have some numbers that might disprove that or change that, but let's look at Sandeep Sharma's numbers first. Because, first let's look at Punjab's poor bowling in the tournament overall. 34.54 at an average with just the 24 wickets. So that is second from bottom. Spare a moment for Gujarat, who are in a completely different league and not one that they would be proud of, with an average of 59 and just 15 wickets this season. Is that bowling lineup as bad as those numbers show, Hoggy?
I don't reckon the bowling lineup's as bad as what we've seen there. If we look at it, their power play numbers, they're the best power play bowlers in the competition. In the middle overs, I think they're about third. And in the death, they're the worst bowling attack, no doubt about it. But if you look at their other numbers too, when they've bowled first, I think it's 159 against the Sunrisers, where they should have won. 188, Delhi Daredevils blew them out of the sky there. 148 against RCB, 163 against Super Giants, which they won there. And KKR got 170 chasing off 15 overs, so that did a bit of damage. This bowling attack's not as bad as what you think. What they really need to do out the death is not panic too much, but try and get that economy rate down to about 10, because they've got the batters in the shed. If they can get that economy rate down to 10, so that's 40 off those 4 overs, they've got to be happy with that. Yeah, all right. Hoggy's gone past his economy. The boom hooter just went up, but I'm going to get another comment on him after we look at Sandeep Sharma's numbers, because here's a man that they rely on. He's a mainstay in the Punjab bowling. Sandeep Sharma, as good as he is at times with the new ball, doesn't quite click at the death, and economy of 14. Would there be a case to use him a bit differently if you were his captain, Hoggy? I think they can vary the attack at the end there. They've got Ishant Sharma, they've got Mohit Sharma. They might even be able to bowl one of the spinners out the death, or even Stoinis if they play Stoinis. But I think Sandeep's done a great job. If you look at the last game, there was a 6 that was hit from David Warner that should have been caught down the boundary, and that would have made some of those statistics a little better too. So let's not just jump on the bandwagon. As we talked as a whole bowling group there, they are the worst attack out the death overs. I think they've just got to sit down and go, right, we know that we're not strong there. Let's just aim to get less than 40. If we get less than 40, or if we get taken for 45, we've had a good day. All right, we've got the batting lineup to be able to chase those runs, as long as we keep the pressure on in the power over and those middle overs. It's just that death overs that are the trouble, and just sit there and go, right, if we go for 45, that's 45. We've got the batters to be able to make it up.
Okay, time now for Brad Hawke to pick his playing 11 for Mumbai against Punjab. Yes, we're making him coach, captain, management, owner, whatever you want to make him for both those teams when they clash at Indore. Starting with the Mumbai team, and this is a settled unit. It's coming off the back of 3 wins at home. They now travel away to Indore, and I don't see too many changes, Hoggy, from you. In fact, I don't see any. You've persisted with the same bowling combinations. No place for Mitchell Johnson, and the batting looks fairly settled. Fair to say that this team doesn't need to change anything? 45 seconds to you.
No, this team does not need to change anything. I think Rana probably could go to 3 and Rowett down to 4 because he's the man in form, and we just want to see Rowett just get a little bit of form, and that just adds a bit of strength to their batting depth. But the Pandya brothers have been able to make the runs to cover for Rowett's bad form at the moment. And the only other issue that they've probably got is Malinga. I don't think he's bowling the best that he can bowl at the moment. They just need him to just get some work under his belt.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't seem like too many problems. Almost seems like minor inconveniences if you compare it to the problem that their opposition would have. And therefore, this might be harder work for Hoggy. Picking the Mumbai team was easy. Now, I want to analyse what you've done here. Okay, you've brought Shaun Marsh back in. Maybe that's an answer to their problems at number 3. I can see Marcus Stoinis in, so you've dropped the English captain Owen Morgan, and the bowling, no place for Varun Aaron in your team. You persist with the spin of Cariappa. All right, 45 seconds for you to take me through that, Hoggy.
Although Miller and Morgan are quality players, Stoinis has got to come in just to give them a little bit of bowling depth. Shaun Marsh has definitely got to come in. They're just not getting the runs out of Miller. The only aspect we've talked about this is their death bowling, but what they've got to do is try and get wickets up front, and then in those middle orders when Kieran Pollard comes out, the Pandya brothers are there. I think that's where they've got to use Ishan Sharma, try and get him to bowl heavy balls, pace balls, test wicket type bowling on a good length, and then probably even use Cariappa there with his strange variety. These players might not have faced him as much, and hopefully he can get a couple of breakthroughs in that middle order, and that just might help them out the death.
That is it. Time's up.
I've got the 45 seconds finally today.
Even if all that you said happens for Punjab, you're still going for Mumbai to win it?
I think there might be a little bit of an upset finally. I'm actually going to go for Kings 11 if they go with this team.
Wow. All right, that's it. Don't say any more.
I've got to back my close mate there, Shaun Marsh.
Of course you do. I don't want you to say any more because you can hear Hoggy's thoughts closer to the game to see what his gut would be like. 7:30 p.m. India time is our live show on ESPNcricinfo.com as well as on Facebook. Send your comments and questions to Hoggy with those hashtags. We're also, of course, on Facebook, not just 7:30 but mid-innings too. So make sure you catch our content on our page and our shows live on our ESPNcricinfo page. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our content. I hope you enjoy all the analysis that we bring you here on ESPNcricinfo Matchday T20 through the course of the IPL. More after that Punjab Mumbai game.